Okay, well, I've laid the sky on, laid some colour onto the building, and I've now penciled in some of the basic outline drawing, so I've sharpened it all up a little. So my next job really is to give the building something to stand on. And me and John, who I'm painting with today, decided that perhaps a little bit of the distant water would be useful. So I'm going to use cobalt blue, because although, yeah, I don't know whether we can quite see it from here, but a touch of cobalt blue for the water in the distance. And I think that just gives it that added little touch to create that area of water in the distance.
That's better.
There you go.
That's a lot
so that's the water. Yeah. So I've got to now do the grass itself, and going to start off with the bushes in the distance, and I'm going to use Prussian with raw sienna. That's my mix. More Prussian than raw sienna, because I want a bluer green, and I'm using a large brush for this to cover quite a large area. And we've got a bush coming in here, which quite a spiky affair. Going to paint around any of the gravestones that we've got. A little more raw sienna to the mix now, and that hopefully will give us a sense of a bit more depth to the greenery. Trying to just pick around the gravestones at that point, because it shapes up the corner of the building and the gravestones themselves. So hopefully we can get, there's a small gravestone there, John. Weren't meant to be, but they're small now. There we are. So that's that side. Now this side, let's add more yellow, shall we? And try and just paint around there. Remove some of that, and trying to get a bit more openness to that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm always all sort of closed up, really.
Yeah, well, you know, just a little bit of openness to it would help, but it's not, you know, make or break time at this present moment. But now I'm going to do the green for the land. I'm starting off with raw sienna with a touch of cobalt, but I want to keep this fairly sort of fluid, running across the paper, painting around the gravestones. That's quite an important thing to do, because I do need those to be left white paper. To try and keep the colour there, so I'm going to go in with just tidy that up with a bit more raw sienna. There we go. And plenty of raw sienna. Decided to introduce a couple of figures there with a dog. So paint around those. Trying to keep it nice and fluid. Sun's come out now, so obviously it's vital that we sort of move fairly quickly to enable us to paint doesn't dry. It's all very loose and rough. It really is more important to create a loose feel to the painting rather than a too solid sort of designed look, really. Paint around the sheep. It's another important area. I'm told that that's quite an important part of this church, where they graze the sheep. So we need to put those in if possible, and that really gives the building something to sit on. So in the next stage I'm going to be looking at painting a bit of detail onto the building.